In a second, that looks like a good-sized plane came in and hit the World Trade Center from the other side. So this is obviously, or would seem to be, and again, I'm dealing in speculation, but it would seem like there is a concerted attack against one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Chapter 3 is writing the personal essay. This is one of my favorite chapters, partly because I'm a big fan of the personal essay, love writing them, love reading them. But obviously, the first question that you probably have is, why write a personal essay when you're not going to be invited to do so in many of your other classes? What does it teach you about being a good writer? And particularly, what does it teach you about being a good academic writer? I think there's a simple answer to this question. And that is that the personal essay, perhaps more than any other genre in the book, is the one that's most likely to introduce you in the most powerful way to the experience of engaging in inquiry. Why is that? I think partly it has to do with motive. Your purpose for writing a personal essay, unlike a lot of other writing that you do, is not to prove something. It's not to make an argument, but it's to find something out. So you begin in a position of wanting to discover. And of course, that's the aim of all academic inquiry. People are engaged in academic inquiry not because they know what they think, but because they want to find out. And so from the very beginning, when writing a personal essay, you're genuinely inquiring into the meaning of things. Secondly, I think the personal essay, as you know, is written in the first person. And again, this seems at odds with the supposed rule that you never write in the first person in college. In fact, there's plenty of scholarship that's written in the first person. But it's generally true that academic writing is not. But what writing in the first person will do is help remind you that you're a narrator. Now, you're always a narrator, no matter what kind of writing you're doing, whether you use the first person or not. But the great thing about the personal essay is that it forces you into the explicit position as a narrator, and you get practice being an agent for your own beliefs and your own ideas, for not hiding behind your writing, but stepping right out front. And I think this is just great training, great practice for all writing, because you will always be a guide to readers, just maybe not so explicitly. And the personal essay is a really great thing for giving you that experience of being the agent of your own work. The obvious question next question that you're going to deal with is, what am I going to write about? I think there's an easy solution, and that's you write about what you already know. So my students will often, at least initially, choose topics from their experiences and observations where they already have ideas. I want to write an essay about that experience I had with the confrontation with the bear at Yellowstone National Park. Well, why do you want to write about that? Oh, because it's a cool story. Well, that may be a cool story, but the best subjects, the best topics for writing are those where you've had experiences and observations that raise questions that you can't quite yet answer, where the meanings are unsettled. So the encounter with a bear might be a great topic, particularly if there's something about your reaction or your interaction with people in that moment, when you're thinking about it subsequently, that makes it curious to you, makes it confusing and puzzling in some ways. Why did I say that? Why did I feel that? What did I feel? So you want to choose things for your personal essay to write about that is confusing, maybe itchy, puzzling, and that becomes an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to find new patterns of meaning, to understand now what you didn't understand then. And that's one of the great things about the personal essay, is that it really brings two selves to your work. The first is the self that remembers what happened or what you saw. And the second is the one who's looking back from where you sit now and who can see things and understand things about those previous experiences and observations that you couldn't at the time that they happened. And that's the real reasoning power of the personal essay. It's that ability to look back with understanding. And that's the pleasure of writing the personal essay. Because when those surprises and discoveries come forth, you not only learn about the world, you learn about yourself.